Hey all, this is Ryan. My wife and I are the owners of the Goldwater at Phoenix Country Club Manor. This house is for sale. And one of the questions that people keep asking me is, why the heck are you selling your house, Ryan? Because the people that know us know that my wife and I painstakingly restored this house over 3 years. Literally, my office was, or is, 2 miles from here, and I probably would spend 3 or 4 hours a day here with the contractors during the restoration, making sure that everything is perfect. So long and short of the reason why we're selling this house, basically life circumstances have made it such that during the winter months, we spend our time in one state. I spend my time there with me and my 4 kids under 13 years old. And my wife is traveling back and forth to Phoenix for her job. And it just does not make sense for us to have this huge house and not be here half of the time of the year. So essentially, the reason that we're selling it is that we just don't need this large of a house. Although it kills us to sell it, it just doesn't make sense for us as a family to have my wife here in the winter living in this big house all by herself. So I wanted to kind of give you a tour of some of the coolest things that I think about this house. So the most amazing thing about this house, it was built in 1939 by Barry Goldwater. And when we were restoring it, we wanted to showcase those historical elements, those building quality elements that really cannot be replicated today. So people ask me, hey, are you going to finish the ceiling? I'm like, heck no. These beams you literally could not purchase this type of rafter system anymore because it's so thick. We were so meticulous, like literally everything from the wall plates, being flush to flush mounted, baseboards. So my aesthetic is super modern, super clean lines, but I think that combining that with the historical aspects of the house is what makes this house so amazing. So to give you an example, when we were remodeling it, when we purchased the house, we didn't know all these things, but when we were remodeling it, this house was actually built by Del Webb. And what they did is they actually used huge steel I-beams, and you can see them across the living room. So those were covered up. We didn't want to we didn't want to hide those things. We wanted to showcase those historical elements and combine it with our modern aesthetic. Another great example of that is this ceiling in the living room. It's concrete. So when we took down the ceiling, it was all drywalled before, and we discovered this concrete ceiling, and you can actually see it's poured in place concrete, and you can see the lines and the knots from the woods that they used when they were pouring that. Another cool thing about this house, when we remodeled it, this staircase here was obviously here, but it was all solid. And the glass was all, glass block. So you couldn't see through outside, and you couldn't see through the staircase because it was all solid. So we had a custom metal maker come in and design this staircase to do that. What else is cool? So one of the most favorite things is we're gonna go a little tour here into the basement. This isn't really a basement. This is basically the adult room. So the ceilings are probably 9.5 feet in here. This is what our kids know as the adult area, the adult play area. So right here, they actually had a bar here, but when we found this house, this basement was a disaster. I mean, the ceilings were low and everything like that. And what Goldwater used to do here is actually host parties, and they used to all sign the bar top with the famous people like the Bob Hopes, the Frank Sinatras. So we wanted to kind of replicate that with that same type of bar top. So this is where the adults play. It's super fun. You know, it's got a sauna, which if you listen to Joe Rogan, it's pretty good for you. I've been spending a lot of time in there. And probably my favorite room of all in the house, which is kind of crazy because the house is 7,000 square feet, but this room is probably, 12 by 10, something like that. But this is where my buddies and I, we spend a lot of time when they come out. This is the room off of the wine cellar. And basically, we lock the door, we sit in here, listen to some music on the record player, and this is literally one of the favorite rooms in the house, just to chill out in. So I guess the point of the video was, why are we selling the house? Well, because my wife and I are splitting time between two different states, and it just doesn't make sense for us to have this house. My goal is for my wife to not have to work, and then we can just be together as a family and live in a little bit smaller house.